Gemini, the 7 gifts that God gave you and nobody else had. Gemini, have you ever felt like there's something different about you, something profoundly unique that no one else truly understands? It's not just your endless curiosity, your quick mind, or your charm that can enchant anyone you meet. It's something deeper, something divine that pulses beneath your dual nature, waiting to be fully recognized. You're often called a gifted communicator, an agile thinker, a natural adapter, but beneath these surface talents lie extraordinary gifts placed within you by the universe itself, gifts no other sign holds quite the same way. Yet how many times have you downplayed these powers, hiding your intuitive brilliance behind humor or charm? What if I told you that your ability to effortlessly navigate worlds, see hidden connections, and speak truths that others shy away from are not accidental skills, but carefully chosen divine abilities, meant to profoundly heal and transform your life and the lives of those around you? Welcome to Esoteric Wisdom. I'm Elizabeth, your spiritual guide, astrologer, and psychologist. On this channel, we journey through the unseen depths of your zodiac soul. If you resonate, please gently like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to deepen your awakening. Today, Gemini, you'll discover the 7 sacred gifts the universe entrusted to your care. Gifts that, once awakened, will change everything you thought you knew about yourself. Are you ready to unlock who you truly are? Chapter 1. The Gift of Sacred Curiosity. Gemini, have you ever wondered why your mind never stops questioning? Why? Even as others settle comfortably into easy answers, you feel compelled to dig deeper, to unravel layers of hidden truths. It's not restlessness, it's your first sacred gift, the divine curiosity that lives deep within your soul. Ruled by Mercury, the messenger of the gods, you possess a profound spiritual ability to perceive connections that others cannot see. Your curiosity is more than mere intellectual interest. It's a spiritual calling, a voice gently guiding you toward truths hidden beneath the surface of everyday life. It was placed within you by divine intention, not simply for knowledge, but to awaken wisdom and healing in a world asleep to deeper realities. Consider the times when a casual conversation turned into a life-changing insight for someone around you. Reflect on moments when your questions, seemingly simple and innocent, have opened doors to revelations, breakthroughs, and deep healing for friends, family, even strangers. This is not coincidence. It is your sacred gift at work, the gift of asking exactly the right question at precisely the right moment. But Gemini, with every sacred gift comes an equal challenge. The same boundless curiosity that empowers you can also trap you in a loop of endless questioning, indecision, or doubt. Sometimes your quest for deeper truths leaves you suspended in uncertainty, endlessly turning ideas over in your mind until clarity feels unreachable. Let me share the story of Ella, a Gemini woman I guided through her journey of self-discovery. Ella was gifted with an incredibly sharp mind, constantly absorbing new knowledge, questioning everything from philosophy to relationships. Yet she often found herself immobilized by overthinking, trapped in the illusion that there was always another layer to uncover before she could act. One day, during our session, I gently asked her, "Ella, what if your sacred curiosity isn't meant to trap you, but rather to free you and those around you? What if each question you ask doesn't need an immediate answer, but simply needs to be voiced so others can find their own paths?" It was then she realized her gift was never meant to be a burden. Her role was not necessarily to solve every mystery, but to courageously illuminate them. Her curiosity was meant to be a guiding light, a beacon encouraging others to look inward and explore their own hidden truths. Gemini, your sacred curiosity works exactly like Ella's. It thrives best when you allow it space, without demanding immediate answers. Each question you ask is a seed planted in the fertile ground of collective consciousness, meant to sprout at exactly the right time, for exactly the right people. This is how Mercury moves through you. As the swift-footed messenger, Mercury teaches you that truth is not static, it is dynamic, alive, and ever-evolving. Your role isn't just to hold the truth, but to provoke, inspire, and awaken it within others through your courageous questioning. And yet, Gemini, always remember, your curiosity must first nourish your own spirit. Before you seek clarity for the world, seek clarity for yourself. Allow your questions to lead you deeper into your own soul, into the integration of your twin selves. Trust that each moment of uncertainty is an invitation, not to more confusion, but to greater self-awareness. So today, honor your first sacred gift. Ask yourself, Gemini, what profound truth is your curiosity guiding you toward right now? And how can embracing uncertainty rather than fearing it transform your life and the lives of those around you? Because your gift of sacred curiosity is more than a talent. It is your divine calling, a spiritual compass guiding humanity back to its heart, back to truth, back to wholeness. Chapter 2. The Gift of Divine Duality. Gemini, have you ever wondered why people call you two-faced as if it's a flaw, when in reality, it's your most divine gift? Your duality isn't superficial indecision or inconsistency. It's a sacred dance between two powerful voices within your soul, uniquely granted by Mercury, the messenger who moves freely between worlds. You carry the ability to exist comfortably in contradiction, understanding truths that seem impossible to others. But this duality isn't always easy. Often, you've hidden one half of yourself, afraid that revealing your complexity might scare people away or confuse them beyond understanding. Yet consider this, Gemini. Every spiritual master throughout history understood something profound, that truth is never singular. It's woven from opposites. Day needs night, light needs shadow, silence needs speech. You embody this universal law so effortlessly that you may not realize how rare and powerful it truly is. Let me tell you about Jacob, a Gemini who visited me when his life felt fragmented. Jacob was known as the life of every party, a quick wit, a charismatic entertainer. Yet privately, he carried a deeply reflective, almost melancholy nature. For years he hid this quiet twin, convinced the world only valued his humor and charm. During our session, he confessed something powerful. I feel exhausted being just one thing all the time, but I'm terrified people won't accept the other part of me. I asked him gently, Jacob, what if your greatest gift isn't being one or the other, but both? What if your divine purpose is precisely to teach others how to embrace their complexity? He paused, tears filling his eyes. In that moment, Jacob recognized his duality wasn't a curse. It was a calling. He began showing his quieter, deeper self, and rather than pushing people away, it drew them closer. His honesty gave others permission to reveal their own hidden dimensions. Jacob became a bridge between worlds, a healer who taught through the power of embracing paradox. Gemini, your sacred duality allows you to resonate with anyone because deep down, everyone carries contradictions they fear to show. By embodying this divine dance openly, you liberate those around you. Your very presence reminds them it's safe to be whole, messy, beautifully complex. Mercury guides you not to divide yourself, but to honor your multifaceted nature as your greatest strength. The world desperately needs your example right now, trapped as it is in rigid definitions and polarization. You remind humanity there's another way, a divine middle path that embraces both shadow and light, intuition and intellect, silence and speech. Yet, Gemini, this gift demands courage. You must risk being misunderstood or labeled. You must step boldly into the vulnerability of authenticity, daring to show both sides of yourself, not just the one others find convenient or comfortable. But when you do, something magical happens. You not only become whole, you become a mirror that reveals the hidden truths others fear to admit. You become a catalyst for healing, integration, and true understanding. This is your power. This is your divine gift of duality. So today, Gemini, I ask you gently but firmly, are you ready to fully embrace both your twins, not as competing halves but as sacred partners? Are you willing to show the world that divine strength doesn't come from hiding contradictions, but from integrating them? The universe is waiting for your answer and your courage. Chapter 3. The Gift of Words as Sacred Keys. Gemini, has anyone ever told you that your words feel like magic? that a simple sentence from you can light up a room, change someone's mood, or even alter the direction of their entire life. This is no coincidence. It's your third divine gift, the power of words as sacred keys. Under Mercury's profound influence, your words carry far more than mere meaning. They are vessels of energy, healing, and transformation. Each word you speak holds within it the potential to unlock doors, dismantle walls, and illuminate paths previously unseen. You've sensed this since childhood, haven't you? Even then, your ability to charm and communicate was extraordinary, your voice dancing effortlessly through conversations, leaving behind a subtle trace of magic that others felt deeply but couldn't fully explain. Yet your gift of sacred speech isn't simply about charm or eloquence. It's deeper. Your words penetrate layers of illusion and denial, gently revealing truths others might spend lifetimes avoiding. With a single, thoughtfully chosen question, you've opened hearts and minds, shifted perceptions, and guided people to life-changing revelations. I'm reminded of Sophia, a Gemini writer who attended one of my retreats. She came to me frustrated, feeling her words lacked depth. "Elizabeth," she confided, "I can entertain, amuse, captivate, but something feels missing. My words aren't healing." I gently replied, "Sophia, what if your words aren't missing anything, but you are? What if the healing you seek in your writing can only be unlocked when you allow yourself to speak from your deepest vulnerability?" She pondered this and later took a courageous step. She shared her raw, unfiltered experiences of grief and loss openly. Something shifted dramatically, not just in her, but in those who heard her story. Strangers approached her, tears streaming down their faces, saying things like, "You put words to feelings I've carried silently for years. Thank you for making me feel less alone." Gemini, like Sophia, your sacred gift is activated only when you trust yourself enough to speak authentically, beyond charm, beyond cleverness. When you use your voice to unlock the hidden, to comfort the hurting, to challenge the stagnant, you fulfill your divine purpose. But this powerful gift also holds a shadow. Because words flow easily for you, there's a temptation to hide behind them, to use wit as armor or charm as a deflection. There are moments when you craft sentences so beautifully that no one notices you've revealed nothing of your true self. Yet your soul longs for more. It longs for genuine connection, for words that don't merely dazzle but heal, words that bridge divides, words that are portals to deeper understanding. Consider this, Gemini. Mercury isn't merely a messenger, he's a healer. In ancient traditions, Mercury traveled freely between the realms, bringing insights from the gods to humanity, bridging gaps and repairing ruptures. Your words hold this same sacred potential. You are a linguistic alchemist, capable of turning casual conversations into profound spiritual awakenings. Imagine the transformation possible when you commit to using your words as sacred keys, opening doors of healing in yourself and others. Imagine the deeper bonds you'll form, the truths you'll uncover, the souls you'll liberate simply by daring to speak from your most authentic self. Gemini, your voice is not accidental. It was divinely chosen to serve as a powerful instrument of connection and transformation. It's time to consciously embrace your sacred gift and speak words that heal, words that bridge worlds, words that remind humanity of our shared beauty and complexity. Today, I invite you to ask yourself, if your words hold the power to heal or hurt, to enlighten or obscure, how will you consciously choose to wield them from now on? Because the world desperately needs your voice, not just to charm or entertain, but to heal and awaken. Are you ready, Gemini, to speak the words only you can speak? Chapter 4. The Gift of Sacred Adaptability. Gemini, have you ever wondered why, no matter how dramatically life shifts, you always find your footing? Why, even when chaos surrounds you, something deep within remains calm, observant, and ready to adapt? It's not luck or chance. It's your fourth sacred gift, the divine power of adaptability. Mercury, your celestial guide, isn't merely swift, he is a shapeshifter. He moves effortlessly between worlds, identities, and realms of consciousness. This divine ability to fluidly adapt to any environment was placed within your soul as a sacred power. It's a spiritual mastery of navigating change, not simply surviving it, but thriving through transformation. But here's a secret few understand. Your adaptability isn't merely practical, it's profoundly spiritual. It grants you the power to enter situations that would overwhelm others and gracefully weave chaos into clarity. While others fear change, you intuitively recognize it as a portal to growth. Your soul knows that adaptability isn't about losing yourself, it's about expanding who you are. Take the story of Marcus, a Gemini healer I once mentored. Marcus had experienced intense upheaval in his life: job losses, sudden relocations, painful breakups. Each event seemed catastrophic at first, yet somehow, he always emerged stronger, more insightful, more compassionate. One evening, he confessed with a sigh, "Elizabeth, I'm exhausted. Why does the universe keep testing me like this?" I gently replied, "Marcus, what if the universe isn't testing you, but training you? What if each shift is honing your sacred gift of adaptability, preparing you not just to endure, but to lead others through their own transformations?" In that moment, Marcus understood. His gift wasn't mere resilience, it was divine adaptability. From then on, he saw each change as sacred training. Instead of resisting life's storms, he embraced them, becoming a source of calm and clarity for others in crisis. He discovered the profound spiritual purpose hidden in his ability to adapt, to guide and heal others through life's most difficult transitions. Gemini, your adaptability is not merely a reaction to external events, it is a deeply rooted spiritual gift designed to help you illuminate paths through uncertainty. You are not simply adaptable, you are divinely chosen to embody and teach the sacred art of transformation. Yet, this gift carries its shadow. Sometimes, your adaptability can blur your sense of self, leaving you questioning your true identity. You might find yourself effortlessly blending into every group or situation, yet secretly longing for stability, clarity, and a solid core within. Gemini, the key lies in realizing that your sacred adaptability is not meant to erase your identity, it is meant to expand it. The core of who you are is not defined by external conditions or roles. Rather, it is anchored in your divine connection to Mercury's wisdom, the understanding that change is life's constant, and your ability to gracefully adapt is your ultimate power. You don't lose yourself by adapting, you deepen yourself. Imagine fully embracing your sacred adaptability consciously, no longer as a survival skill but as spiritual artistry. Imagine guiding others to see change not as threat, but as divine invitation. Imagine becoming the calm center in every storm, teaching by example how to transform fear into growth, chaos into clarity, uncertainty into wisdom. Gemini, this is your sacred calling, to demonstrate the spiritual mastery of adaptability. It's your soul's mission, your divine purpose, your deepest truth. So today, ask yourself honestly, where in your life can you more consciously embody your sacred adaptability? How might your divine gift of transformation help heal, inspire, and awaken others? Because the world desperately needs your ability to flow gracefully through change. Are you ready, Gemini, to become the sacred shapeshifter your soul was always destined to be? Chapter 5, The Gift of Sacred Connection. Gemini, have you ever noticed that, no matter where life takes you, you possess an almost magical ability to connect deeply with anyone, even complete strangers? It's as if your soul effortlessly finds the invisible threads that bind all hearts together, creating bridges of understanding and trust where others see only separation and difference. This is your fifth sacred gift, the divine power of sacred connection. Ruled by Mercury, the messenger who weaves unity between distant worlds, your soul holds a unique spiritual mandate to reconnect a fragmented humanity. It's not simply charisma or friendliness, it's an extraordinary spiritual ability to see through surface differences and touch the core essence of every being you meet. People are naturally drawn to you, Gemini, because your presence silently assures them. You are seen. You are understood. You are not alone. This sacred connection is deeply intuitive. You sense subtle shifts in energy, mood, and intention long before anyone speaks. You instinctively know when to listen, when to speak, and when simply to hold space. Your words can be healing, but equally powerful is your attentive silence, creating a sanctuary where people feel safe enough to share their deepest truths and vulnerabilities. Let me share with you the story of Elena, a Gemini counselor whose remarkable gift of sacred connection transformed countless lives. When Elena entered a room, something immediately shifted. An invisible thread of calm and trust wove itself around those present. People she'd just met felt instantly comfortable opening up to her, sharing secrets they'd carried silently for years. Yet Elena came to me troubled, feeling emotionally drained. "Elizabeth," she said, "I love connecting deeply with people, but I absorb so much pain. How do I keep offering this gift without losing myself?" I gently replied, "Elena, your gift isn't meant to drain you. It's meant to move through you. You're not here to carry everyone's pain, but to connect them back to their own source of healing. Your sacred connection is not merely human empathy, it's divine presence." From that moment, Elena realized her role wasn't simply to absorb and soothe, but to serve as a bridge, reconnecting others to their own inner strength. By embodying sacred connection consciously, offering her presence as a mirror rather than a sponge, she unlocked deeper healing not only for others, but also for herself. Gemini, your gift of sacred connection carries the same profound purpose. But as with every divine gift, there's a challenge. Without clear boundaries and self-awareness, your incredible sensitivity can lead you to exhaustion or emotional overwhelm. You must understand this. Your sacred gift is not to rescue or fix. Your role is to connect, to reflect the divine within each person back to themselves. Mercury gave you this extraordinary gift of connection so you could remind humanity of our shared essence, our interconnectedness, our unity beneath apparent differences. You effortlessly communicate across divides, cultural, emotional, spiritual, not to erase diversity, but to honor it through deeper understanding. Imagine fully embracing your sacred gift of connection consciously, Gemini. Imagine each interaction becoming a sacred opportunity to remind others they are not isolated or misunderstood. Imagine transforming every conversation into an act of spiritual healing. Today, ask yourself, how might your sacred connection bring healing to the world around you without draining your own spirit? How can you use your gift consciously to reconnect a fractured world and remind others of their inherent unity and worth? Gemini, the world deeply needs your divine gift now more than ever. You are chosen to remind us of what we've forgotten, that beneath the noise and chaos, we are all profoundly connected. Are you ready, Gemini, to embody the sacred bridge your soul was destined to become? Chapter 6, The Gift of Inner Alchemy. Gemini, have you ever felt as if your thoughts move too fast for this world, like your soul was designed to process more than most, to understand patterns invisible to others? That's not imagination. That's your sixth divine gift, the power of inner alchemy, the sacred ability to take chaos, contradiction, and complexity and transform them into clarity, wisdom, and light. While many signs seek resolution through stillness, you find yours through movement, mental, emotional, even spiritual. But what makes you truly divine is not how fast you think, but what you do with what you know. Gemini, you are not a collector of ideas. You are a refiner of experience. Every conversation, every challenge, every emotional contradiction that passes through you becomes raw material for alchemical transformation. You are Mercury's apprentice in the truest sense, not just relaying information, but transmuting energy. You take what is broken and give it new form. You take duality and braid it into unity. And you do this not just with your intellect, but with your heart, when you allow it. Let me tell you about Amir, a Gemini philosopher who felt stuck in endless loops of thinking. He came to me and said, "Elizabeth, I've studied everything. Read all the books, but I feel further from truth than ever." I smiled softly and asked him, And how often do you sit with the discomfort of what you've learned, rather than rush to the next insight? He paused. Alchemy, I told him, isn't collecting metals. It's the fire that transforms them. From that day, Amir began practicing stillness after synthesis. He would let ideas simmer. Let pain speak. Let his thoughts collide and settle before responding. And then, something miraculous happened. His clarity became magnetic. His words began to heal. His writing, once academic, became poetry. He had turned knowledge into wisdom, analysis into compassion. Gemini, this is your sacred alchemy. You take life's paradoxes and make them bearable. You sit at the crossroads of thought and feeling, light and shadow, and you do not flee. You illuminate. This gift is rare, and it requires presence. It requires that you stop running from the contradiction inside you and instead allow it to shape you, refine you, expand you. But here's your challenge. Your mind will often trick you into thinking that faster is better, that cleverness is enough, that silence means stagnation. In truth, your soul is asking you to pause, to let your divine gift of inner alchemy mature. Because brilliance without integration becomes noise. But brilliance transmuted through your heart becomes medicine. Mercury didn't give you speed without reason. He gave you the fire of the mind and the wisdom of reflection. It is time to activate both. Gemini, imagine a life where you no longer fear contradiction, where every complex moment becomes an invitation to transmute, not escape. Imagine becoming someone others come to not just for answers, but for clarity, depth, and wholeness. Because when you fully embody your inner alchemist, you don't just understand people, you elevate them. You don't just interpret life, you transform it. So I ask you now, what inner tension are you being called to sit with instead of solve? What truth is ready to be forged in the sacred fire of your attention? Gemini, your ability to think fast is a gift, but your power to transmute slowly is divine. Chapter 7. The Gift of Conscious Choice. Gemini, at the heart of your soul lies a sacred paradox. You are the wanderer who always searches, and yet you hold the map inside your own being. You are the voice of possibility, the guardian of potential. And here, in this final chapter, we uncover your seventh divine gift, perhaps the most powerful of all, the gift of conscious choice. You've been told that you're indecisive, that you change your mind too often, that you can never commit. But what if those judgments were rooted in misunderstanding your true power? Because Gemini, unlike most, you don't just choose between options. You sense the timelines each choice will create. This is your sacred challenge and your greatest spiritual gift, the ability to feel the ripple effects of every path available to you. That's not confusion. That's consciousness. Where others choose impulsively, you pause. Where others follow expectation, you ask questions. Where others settle, you remain open. And though this makes you unpredictable, it also makes you deeply aligned with truth, not external rules, but the living truth of your soul. You may not realize it, but every time you choose from your center, when you listen to that subtle vibration inside, that intuitive signal, your entire life shifts. You redirect energy. You reshape futures. Your choices are not minor decisions. They are frequency-setting acts of creation. I once worked with Camille, a Gemini artist who had a lifelong pattern of abandoning projects halfway through. She labeled herself flaky, internalizing the shame that others projected onto her. But when we explored more deeply, we discovered something extraordinary. Camille's soul wasn't indecisive, it was multidimensional. She wasn't abandoning, she was pivoting toward truth, again and again, refusing to settle for anything less than full alignment. She began listening more carefully, not to the loud demands of the world, but to the quiet yes inside her body. And something changed. She began finishing what truly resonated, not out of discipline, but out of deep knowing. Her creations became magnetic, clear, powerful. She was no longer choosing out of fear or pressure, but out of sacred clarity. Gemini, this is the gift you were born with, the power to choose with cosmic awareness. Not based on logic alone, but on the subtle intuition Mercury has hardwired into your soul. Every time you choose consciously from presence, from self-trust, you activate a new path not only for yourself, but for those watching you. Because people do watch you, even when you don't realize it. They watch how you navigate uncertainty, how you pivot with grace, how you refuse to settle. You don't just teach through your words, you teach through the way you choose. Yet this gift, too, has its shadow. When unacknowledged, your openness to possibilities becomes indecision. Your intuition becomes doubt. Your freedom becomes avoidance. The world will always try to rush you into answers. But your soul knows. The most sacred choices are the ones made from the quiet within, not from the noise without. So, I ask you now, Gemini, what choice have you been putting off, not because you don't know, but because you're afraid of its power? What would your life look like if every choice you made was treated as a sacred ritual, a soul agreement, a declaration of who you truly are? Because, Gemini, you were never meant to be trapped between paths. You were born to forge them. This is your final gift, not just to think, to speak, or to adapt, but to choose in full awareness the future your soul came here to build. Conclusion, Gemini, you are the sacred bridge between worlds. Gemini, after walking through these 7 divine gifts, can you feel it? That quiet recognition in your chest, not of something new, but of something ancient that has always been there, waiting for you to remember. You are not fragmented. You are multifaceted. You are not lost. You are limitless. Each of your gifts, curiosity, duality, sacred speech, adaptability, connection, alchemy, and conscious choice, is a thread in the golden tapestry of your soul's sacred design. The world has often misunderstood you, asked you to pick a side, to settle down, to make up your mind. But what they don't realize is this: you are not here to choose between halves. You are here to weave them into wholeness. You were born under Mercury's wings not to mimic others, but to be a sacred bridge between intellect and emotion, shadow and light, question and answer, earth and spirit. In a divided world, your integrated presence is a revolution. You don't just think fast, you feel deeply. You don't just connect, you transform. You don't just adapt, you awaken others by doing so. And now, with the full awareness of your soul's blueprint, you are being asked to choose. Will you continue moving through the world half-hidden, dimming your light to be understood by the average eye? Or will you rise as the divine messenger you truly are, uniting everything you've ever been into one radiant, unstoppable presence? Because this moment is not the end of your story, it's the beginning of a higher chapter. One where your voice becomes medicine, your movement becomes meaning, your duality becomes destiny. So, Gemini, what part of yourself will you no longer deny? Which sacred gift are you ready to activate fully today? If this journey spoke to something deep within you, please like this video, subscribe to Esoteric Wisdom, and share your reflections in the comments. Your voice may be the message someone else's soul is waiting to hear. And remember, you are not two people in conflict. You are one soul in motion, not here to be defined, but to define what is possible.